The Utah High School Activities Association joins with their sponsors, Mountain America Credit Union, Jerry West, Wilson, the Shirt Stop, McDonald's, and the Deseret News in welcoming you to the 2A and 3A State Softball Championship game. The UHSAA would like to thank everyone that has made this tournament a tremendous success, starting with our crew of umpires under the direction of our umpire-in-chief, Russ Carter, and our scorekeepers, announcers, gatekeepers, and concessions crew. Special thanks to the Spanish Fork Softball Complex Facilities Director, Tracy Wiley, for hosting the tournament, and ground supervisor, Cameron Hinks, and his crew for the incredible job they do in preparing the fields for play. Success takes teamwork, and these teams appreciate the support they have received from their parents, family, administration, student bodies, spectators, and fans. Throughout today's championship game, please be an example of good sportsmanship, demonstrating respect for the players, coaches, and officials. By so doing, you will show your positive support for the mission of education-based athletics in Utah. At this time, let's welcome onto the field the two teams that will be competing in today's 2A state championship. From the first visiting team, the Duchesne Eagles. Now the home team, the Enterprise Wolves. Let's give these two teams a round of applause for their great success. Now let's welcome onto the field the two teams that will be competing in today's 3A state championship game. First, the visiting team, the North Sanpete Hawks. Association would like to recognize the seniors on all teams by having them take a step forward. Seniors, please take a step forward, raise your hands so we can give you a round of applause. Thank you, seniors. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as we pause to honor America and those valiant men and women who fight to protect our freedoms as we enjoy the game today with the playing of our national anthem. At this time, let's meet the 2A players and coaches. First, for the designated visitors, the Duchesne Eagles. Our non-starters for today, number 5, Amanda Burt. Number 7, Jessica Farnsworth. Number 26, Bailey Reese. And for our starters today, number 2, Chesney Farnsworth. Number 8, Lexi Moreland. Number 10, Cadence Crum. Number 13, Samantha Skews. Number 14, Amberly Skews. Number 19, Tammy Larson. Number 20, Jaylee Farnsworth. Number 22, Larissa Mallor. Number 33, Kara Grant. And number 24, Kelsey Grant. And then, number 16, Harley Hamburg. Principal for Duchesne, Darren Galderum. Head coach, Kyle Grant. Assistant coaches, Shaylee Green, Jesse Farnsworth, and Jocelyn Farnsworth. Athletic director, Jared Torgerson. And our wonderful managers, Morgan Ewell and Britlin Ewell. The Duchesne Eagles. Now the designated home team, the Enterprise Wolves. For our non-starters today, number 1, Jordan Day. Number 4, Justine Nielsen. Number 8, Eva Christensen. Number 9, Kennedy Drake. Number 11, Taylin Platt. Number 13, Tiana Jones. Number 15, Kinley Reber. Number 16, Kimberly Bundy. Number 18, Emery Staley. Number 19, McKinley Hunt. Number 20, Taryn Rupp. Number 21, Miley Platt. Number 23, Sarah He Hernandez. Number 24, McKenna Jolly. Number 25, Tristan Jolly. Number 28, Addison Adams. And for the starters today, number 2, Rebecca Hess. Number 5, Macy Hunt. Number 6, Blakely Christiansen. Number 7, Haley Drake. Number 10, Addison Nelson. Number 12, Kyla Humphreys. Number 14, Daisy Terry. Number 17, Hallie Christensen. Number 22, Brooke Humphreys. And for the awesome managers, Maylee Staley and Nancy Platt. Head coach, Katie Jones. Assistant coaches, Kel Gilman, Amanda Jones, and Kendi Christensen. Principal Enterprise, Carlton Hope. Athletic Director, Warren Richens. The umpires for this championship game are Bob Cromanhook, Mark Clausen, and Don Oswald. Congratulations to our 2A teams. Now let's meet the 3 players and coaches, if you guys could step forward. For the designated visitors, the North Sanpete Hawks. For our non-starters today, number 1, Peyton Johnson. Number 5, Ava Sunderland. Number 8, Brooklyn Larson. Number 10, Aspen Bagshaw. Number 12, Olivia Madsen. Number 13, Peyton Johnson. Number 15, Finley Bailey. Number 16, Shay Rollinson. Number 17, Brenton Snow. Number 18, Kaylee Robinson. Number 20, Autumn Oldroyd. Number 23, Miley Cook. Number 27, Aiden Hardy. Number 28, Keely Cheney. And our starters today, number 3, Bree Allred. Number 4, Emily Strait. Number 5, Tyler Joe Miramonte. Number 9, Indigo North. Number 11, Katie Cook. Number 14, Caitlin Johnson. Number 19, Dally Bailey. Number 22, Lucy Oldroyd. Number 25, Madison Stedman. And manager Shaylee Gilgan and Seth Howard. Head coach Landon Bailey. Assistant coaches Rich Jones, Steph Flynn, and Gene Anderson. Principal of North Sanpete, Christine Stratman. Athletic director Cheryl Hadley and Tyler Bailey. North Sanpete Hawks. Now let's meet the designated home team, the Grantsville Cowboys. For non-starters today, number 11, Ren White. Number 14, Elise Smith. Number 15, Riley Youngberg. Number 16, Eden Russell. Number 20, Aaliyah Fernandez. Number 23, Kira Hart. Number 18, Hayden By the Way. Number 24, Peyton By the Way. Number 28, Malia Bowman. And for our starters, we have number 1, Madison Bolander. Number 2, Ellie Thomas. Number 3, Mackenzie Allen. Number 5, Avery Lee. Number 9, Chloe By the Way. Number 12, Lily Brooks. Number 13, Addison Butler. Number 21, Bradley Castano. Number 22, Sophia Crosby. And number 25, Zoe Cloward. Head coach Tony Cloward. Assistant coaches Blake Stringfellow, Tori Brooks, Sean Allen, and Matt Beacom. Principal Kenny Agard, athletic director Scott Mortensen. The Grantsville Cowboys. The umpires for this championship game are Robin Peterson, Randall Burtis, and John Rayful. You guys, let's play ball!
Yep, that's great. This is perfect. Can I move this away for you? That can be right away. I don't need to bring it.
Welcome to our 3A State Championship softball game. I'm Michelle Moss alongside Matt Robinson, and you are watching on TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom in partnership with KSL Sports. And Matt, we've got a great game today between the Grantsville Cowboys and the North Sanpete Hawks.
Yeah, this tournament started early Thursday morning, and here we are on Championship Saturday afternoon with the Grantsville Cowboys, the number 1 ranked and home team, squaring off against the North Sanpete Hawks, the number 3 ranked in the RPI. Just watched a great game. North Sanpete made quick work of Manti in 5 innings, 4.5 innings, and move on to the championship, and will now have the opportunity to come back through the losers bracket, and will have to beat Grantsville twice in a row. So Grantsville earning that number 1 RPI seed and in the driver's seat here moving into the championship game.
These two teams faced each other yesterday. Grantsville came away with the win 3-0, so I think we're looking at a defensive battle between these two teams.
Yeah, and we thought we could see that in the earlier game this morning. North Sanpete exploded in the, what was that, the bottom half of the 3rd inning for 11 runs, and we ended up seeing a fairly high-scoring affair, but based on the game between these two squads yesterday, may see a defensive pitching battle.
And in the circle for the Cowboys will be Chloe By the Way, and in the circle for the Hawks will be Caitlin Johnson. We saw her pitch a great game against Manti, and By the Way yesterday, so they beat Grantsville, started this tournament. They beat South Summit 16-0. Then turned around and beat Carbon 4-3, so a close game there, and then beat North Sanpete 3-0. North Sanpete started the tournament off with a win against Union 9-5. Then turned around and beat Canyon View 12-7. Lost to Grantsville 3-0, and then came back around and beat Manti this morning. What was it? 13-3, or yes, 13-3. And so that's how these two teams got there, and we will be underway. And for the Lady Hawks, they will start out with number 11, Katie Cook.
Yeah, and by the way, the senior, the pitcher for Grantsville, has been dominant all season long with a 1.82 ERA, and coming into the tournament at 14 wins and 2 losses, has had a sensational year. And this tournament for By the Way has been no different. The North Sanpete Hawks are going to have their work cut out for them. They need to try to push the counts deep and try to make By the Way throw a lot of pitches, be patient, see if they can get some bases on balls here early in the game.
And we are underway as By the Way steps on the mound and Cook steps up to the plate. And we are ready to go. And here's the pitch from By the Way. That one in for a called strike one to Cook. Cook is the catcher for the Hawks, does a great job behind the plate. And she's looking to get her team going with a hit. That one's swing and a miss for strike number two.
Yep, just breaking away from the right-handed batter, paints the outside corner, an extremely difficult pitch to hit.
Cook takes a couple practice swings and she's back up to the plate. We'll see what By the Way throws her. She's ahead in the count, 0-2. And here's the pitch. That one's swing and a miss, and that's strikeout number one for Chloe By the Way.
So a leadoff swinging strikeout for By the Way in the Grantsville Cowboys. Now, if you remember, in the earlier game this morning, North Sanpete's bats had just a little bit of a slow start in the bottom half of the first inning against Manti. We'll see if they can dig in and put the bat on the ball here against By the Way in the Grantsville Cowboys.
And that brings up Bree Allred, the second baseman. And there's a pitch that swung on, fouled off for strike one. And for the Grantsville Cowboys, behind the plate is Addie Butler. By the Way is going to take the sign from Butler. And here's the pitch. That one swung on, fouled back as well. So an 0-2 count to two straight batters. And we'll see what By the Way is going to throw her.
Yeah, one of the keys for the pitcher is to be able to pitch ahead and then pitch from ahead in the count. And By the Way doing that early.
Here's the pitch by the Way. That one in there is going to go back to the pitcher. She fields it cleanly over to first base for the second out of the inning.
By the Way, cool, calm, and collected. Just took the ground ball in stride, fires a strike across the field for the second out of the inning. So By the Way continues to pitch from ahead. You know, it's interesting watching By the Way's delivery. It's just a bit of an unorthodox delivery. She kind of sidesteps a little, and that may be a little difficult for a batter to get onto her rhythm.
And that will bring up number 25, Madison Stedman, the left fielder for the Hawks. Here's the pitch. That one outside, ball one, first ball pitched by the Way.
By the Way pushing the outside half of the plate there and just out of the strike zone.
Here's Stedman at the plate. Here's By the Way's pitch. That one's swing and a miss, strike one.
The rise ball up and just paints the outside corner. And By the Way contend on working the outside half here.
Stedman steps back into the plate and Butler gives By the Way the call. Here's the pitch. That one's a swing and a miss, strike number two to Madison Stedman.
Coming in with the high heat and again pitches ahead. Quickly jumping up, 1 ball, 2 strikes here with 2 outs, no base runners.
And here's By the Way on the mound. And the pitch. And that is 2 strikeouts in that first inning, and that will do it for the top of 1. We'll be back as the Grantsville Cowboys will be up to bat.
Since 1947, Barney Trucking has built a reputation of unparalleled customer service and satisfaction in the trucking industry. Barney Trucking is now hiring drivers statewide, including Beaver, Millard, Sevier, Sanpete, Juab, Carbon, Emery, Utah, and Salt Lake counties, as well as many other locations. The job includes a home daily schedule, excellent pay, benefits, training, retirement, a positive work environment, and requires a Class A CDL license with doubles endorsement. To apply, go to barneyjobs.com. That's barneyjobs.com.
At Central Valley Medical Center, we're committed to offering the best care.
In your life's first moments.
Through your life's biggest emergencies.
In your everyday health.
In those days that mean the most.
Central Valley Medical Center will be there with you through each step and stage of life, bringing the best care because we care, closer to home.
Welcome back to 3A State Softball on TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom in partnership with KSL Sports. And we just want to thank our sponsors, Rocky Mountain Chevy Dealers, Utah Community Credit Union, Intermountain Power Service Corporation, Central Valley Medical Center, Nephi Sunrise Engineering, Sanpete Steel Moroni, Beaver Valley Hospital, Nephi Federal Credit Union, Beaver Medical Clinic, Barney Trucking, Honey's Marketplace in Kanab, and Jones and DeMille Engineering. Without these sponsors, we would not be able to bring you this 3A State Championship softball game. And here's the pitch from Johnson for Kenzie Allen, and that's a called strike one.
And in the bottom half of the first inning, Johnson's going to need to go to work and hit her spots here against the Grantsville Cowboys. Let's see if she can match the intensity of By the Way here as we move to the bottom half of the inning.
And that one was low in the dirt for ball one. So 1-1. Johnson pitched a great game against the Templars. And, you know, sometimes that momentum will carry over to this championship game.
Yeah, she was hitting her spots very well in the earlier game today, and she'll need to do that again.
That one looks good. Catches that inside corner, strike two.
Yep, right there, maybe a half inch off the inside corner. If she's going to get that, that's where she needs to live. That's an incredibly tough pitch to hit.
And here's Johnson's pitch. That one high, so 2-2 our count for Kenzie Allen, the shortstop. And here's Johnson's pitch. And that's going to get for a strikeout. That little off speed just caught it right on the inside, and that is out number one.
Yeah, Johnson loved that pitch. They were feeling it. That buckled the batter, just absolutely froze her in her tracks, and she painted the inside corner there for the backwards K.
I think that's what I love about North Sanpete. I know this last game is their catcher. She is so excited after every strikeout or out, and that brings a lot of leadership to your team.
Yeah, this is a game of emotions and definitely a game of momentum for sure.
And here's the pitch. That one on the outside corner. Strike number one to Sophie Crosby.
So in the previous batter, she painted the fastball inside corner, changeup inside corner, and now she paints the outside corner with the rise ball.
And here's the pitch. That one swung on hard. That's going to be a base hit. So the first hit of the game goes to the Grantsville Cowboys.
Yeah, ball hammered straight back up the middle by Crosby for the one-out single.
First base runner for either team. That will bring up the third baseman, Madison Bolender.
Bolender been productive out of the three-hole all season. Now has a base runner on with one out.
And that looks good. She finds that inside corner again. Strike number one. Looking to move that runner to second. And there's a swing. She's waited on it. Going to go to shortstop. Can she beat out the throw? She does not. And here comes the throw. But an errant throw to third base, and the Grantsville Cowboys have struck first and take a 1-0 lead.
So the throw in time across the diamond, an incredibly tough play by the defensive infield for North Sanpete. And the throw is in time to get the force out at first, but the errant throw coming back across allows the run to score. So that run is going to score on the errant throw by the first baseman, but a really tough defensive play out there on the infield play there across the diamond for the second out of the inning.
And that will bring up Addie Butler, the catcher. That one is a called ball one.
You know, hindsight's always 20/20, and maybe would have liked to have seen the Grantsville first baseman after getting that forced bounce off and just hold that ball. Hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah, you know, in a big game like this, you're trying to make those big plays, and sometimes they just, your emotions are going, the adrenaline's pumping, and the ball just doesn't go where you want it to go.
Yep.
So here's the pitch. That one swung on, popped up. Can the catcher get it? She does. So that will be out number 3 for North Sanpete, and we will be back with the top of 2.
This is how legends 2024 Chevy Silverado HD with Duramax diesel. And the Chevy Silverado with powerful TurboMax engine. No matter what route you take, there's a Chevy truck to get you there. Find new roads. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 LT TurboMax pickups. Plus, get a $4,000 total value when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your Rocky Mountain Chevy dealers.
Centric.
Welcome back to our 3-state championship softball game. Grantsville was able to pick up a run on an error, and it is 1-0 Cowboys as we head into the top of the second inning.
One of the things to watch here in a championship setting is who's able to manage the emotions best. The emotions from all of the fans, obviously out of both dugouts. Emotions are high, the adrenaline's pumping, and which team is going to be able to manage the emotions best here. Now, you don't want to get rid of the emotions, but you do need to figure out how to sort of channel them and manage them, and we'll see which team's able to do that here as we move into the second inning.
That will bring up number 22, Lucy Oldroyd, the right fielder for the Hawks. Here's the pitch. That one looks good. Strike one. So 2 strikeouts already in the game for By the Way. By the Way steps on the mound, and here's the delivery to Oldroyd. That one high outside, ball one.
Yeah, By the Way comes up and away with that high heat there. One of the lessons early for North Sanpete is By the Way is going to be in and around the zone, so every pitch as a hitter needs to be yes, 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 ready to hit that ball. She's going to be in the zone.
Here's the pitch. That one just a little high and outside. Ball two.
Again, comes high and out with the heat trying to get Oldroyd to chase. But Oldroyd showing really good discipline there.
She is. I would have chased after that ball. Looks good, but nah. Here's the pitch from By the Way. That one looks good. That one's going to be popped back foul for strike number 2.
So By the Way comes inside with the heat, and Oldroyd was ready to jump on that. Just missed it, fouled it straight back.
So both of these pitchers, you know, they're not going to throw any. They're not going to throw. They're all hittable pitches, like you said. They're going to be around the zone, and you just got to admit, as a batter, that one, just must have missed as a full count to Oldroyd.
Must have been just down and out of the zone, but. Yeah, By the Way, definitely working the inside-outside half of the plate and hitting her spots, as was Johnson.
Yeah, she
in
was.
the bottom of the first.
Here's the full count pitch. That one's high, so the first walk, and the Hawks now have a base runner.
Ton of credit to number 22, Lucy Oldroyd, showing some great discipline. And early, that's what we were talking about, a ton of discipline from North Sanpete. And trying to push the counts to deep. That was a great at-bat by Oldroyd.
That will bring up Dally Bailey. She had that big home run in the last game against the Templars.
Yeah, hammered a grand salami there in that bottom of the third.
She shows a bunt, and that one's fouled off, strike one.
So North Sanpete going right immediately to the statistical option. Runner on first, nobody out. We're going to move her over with a bunt. We'll see if Bailey sticks with it.
Here's the pitch. And she does. And she did stay with the bunt, so that is a called strike 2.
Yeah, good work there by the umpiring crew. The plate umpire, who was getting out of the way, the high and inside pitch, appealed to the first base umpire, and they got it right. She did offer at that.
And here's the pitch by the Way. 0-2 the count. That one's swinging a miss, and that's strikeout number 3 for Chloe, By the Way.
by the way, brings the rise ball running up and in on the right-handed batter and gets the swinging strikeout for the first out of the inning.
That will bring up number 7, Tyler Joe, the third baseman. Here's the pitch by the way, she bunts. That one popped back and foul, strike number 1. So North Sanpete still trying to, move that runner. Losing to Grantsville 3-0, they know that when they get a base runner on, they got to get her into scoring position.
Yeah, they're sticking with their guns, trying to get that runner over in scoring position.
And here's the pitch. That one's swing and a miss, so now 0-2 the count to Tyler Joe as another rise ball thrown by the way.
Yeah, and that's the pitch that Oldroyd was able to lay off, and Tyler Joe unable to do that. And that pitch is virtually impossible to hit with good velocity.
And here's the pitch by the way, another strikeout, same thing, another rise ball, and that will be out number 2.
Yeah, I love the thought process there by the way, in the Grantsville Cowboys. They got her to chase the first one up and out of the zone. Let's go back to it, and it worked twice in a row. Oldroyd able to show discipline and get the walk, and Tyler Joe unable to lay off.
That will bring up number 9, Indigo North, the first baseman for the Hawks. That one high and outside, ball 1. Runner still on first is Oldroyd as she took the walk. And here's the pitch. That one looks good, strike 1.
So by the way, went up and out several times in a row and then bust one across the inside corner.
In high school, if you can throw a good rise ball, you are going to be a pretty deadly pitcher.
Yeah, you can start that pitch right at the waist and run it up and out of the zone. You teach the hitter, if it starts at your waist, you lay off, but man, it looks so good coming in there, and then it just rises a couple, 2-3 inches and up and out of the zone with the velocity. It's a very difficult pitch to hit.
So 2 1s are count, 2 outs. That one, that inside, strike number 2, swing and a miss.
So levels the count at 2-2 with 2 out. The Hawks able to get a base runner on, and by the way, looking to shut them down and not let them get anything going here with 2 outs.
Here's the pitch. That one high, so count is full. Tried to get her on that rise ball again, and North doing a good job laying off.
Yeah, that's what needs to happen if you're North Sanpete, is you need to develop the ability to lay off that high heat.
Here's the pitch from by the way. That one inside, so another walk gives North Sanpete 2 base runners, as North being very disciplined at the plate.
Yeah, I give a ton of credit to both Oldroyd and North. Those pitches are right there, and by the way, is hitting her spots. Those pitches are going exactly where she wants them to go, and those batters just able to show some good discipline and lay off out of the zone.
And that will bring up number 1, Peyton Johnson, the designated player. She's batting for Caitlin Johnson, the pitcher for North Sanpete.
So we mentioned this earlier, and we mentioned it all weekend long, but one of the keys to success here on Championship Saturday is, can you hit with 2 outs? And here the North Sanpete Hawks have an opportunity with runners on first and second, a runner in scoring position to deliver the equalizer.
Here's the pitch from by the way. That one misses outside, ball 1. On our other field, we have Duchesne and Enterprise battling it out for the 2A state championship. Both those 2 teams met last year, same time. And here's the pitch. That one's swing and a miss by Johnson. Great delivery by the way.
By the way, comes up and in on the inner half of the plate with the high fastball, and honestly may have been a ball, but gets the batter Johnson to offer at it, strike 1.
Here's by the way's pitch. That one outside and low, ball 2.
by the way, takes just a little stroll trying to get her wits about her. And right here in this moment, North Sanpete is doing what I believe they are going to need to do to, by the way, they're being very disciplined at the plate. And, you know, they're not giving her any freebies.
Here's the pitch from By the Way. That was like right down the pipe. I think that's the first pitch we've seen delivered down the middle.
Yeah, By the Way took a little stroll between pitches, gathered herself, and fired a strike right down the pipe ski. And Johnson missed an opportunity there on that fastball.
So 2-2 our count, 2 outs, runners on. Here's the pitch by the Way. That's a swing and a miss for strike out number 3, and that will be the third out of the inning, as there was no hits and no errors. We'll be back with the bottom of 2.
The Beaver Medical Clinic has built a reputation of providing compassionate health care for residents of Beaver and Iron counties. You'll appreciate the professional services of Drs. Roger Smith, Wade Oakton, Lance Smith, Rhett Smith, and nurse practitioners Wade Hollingshead, Lindsay Cheney, Robin Horton, and Joan Yardley. The Beaver Medical Clinic is a family practice offering affordable health care and convenient payment options, with offices in Beaver, Milford, and Parowan.
Honey's Marketplace invites you to experience their refreshing variety and signature items. Honey's Marketplace features a wide selection of camping supplies, a garden nursery, and fresh floral department. Experience fresh-baked artisan breads and pastries in their bakery, and sushi made fresh every day. Get all this with hometown service you deserve. Fresh, friendly, and close to home. Honey's Marketplace, 260 East, 300 South in Kanab.
Welcome back to 3A State Softball. We are in the bottom of the second inning as North Sanpete unable to capitalize with those 2 base runners. And that will bring us to number 5, Avery Lee, the designated player for the Cowboys.
So a big inning, an opportunity to respond here defensively for Johnson and the North Sanpete Hawks.
And there's a swing and a hit to the third baseman. She fumbles it, and that will be a hit, or reach on an error for Lee as she starts things off for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and man, that's just one of those in-between high choppers. You know, as a fielder, Bollender is left to make a read. Does she drop step and give herself a half a step space, or does she charge it? I think she made the right choice to charge it and try to catch it off the short hop, but just unable to put a glove on it.
And that was a swing and a foul ball by Ellie Thomas, the center fielder, for strike number 1.
So with the base runner on and nobody out.
And there's the bunt laid down, but foul. So strike 2 to Thomas, 0-2 the count.
Yeah, I was going to say, will she square to bunt and right on cue? You know, that's what the statistical analysis would tell you to do, especially in a defensive game like this. Square, lay down the bunt, and move the runner into scoring position.
So Thomas will have to go to work as she's down 0-2. And she is hit by a pitch, so that's an unfortunate mistake, and that will give 2 base runners to the Cowboys.
Yeah, Johnson trying to run the fastball in, wishes she could have that one back. You do a great job and go up 0-2 on the hitter and then give up the free base with a hit by pitch. Johnson and the North Sanpete Hawks going to have to dig deep here as they have 2 runners on and nobody out here in the bottom of the second.
And that will bring up number 25, Zoe Cloward, the first baseman for the Cowboys.
Look for Cloward to square and bunt and move those runners over here.
That one outside, ball 1.
Nope, they at least early look to be giving Cloward the opportunity to swing away. Cloward 442 on the year with 11 RBIs.
Well, tried to frame that one as Cook, but still outside, ball 2. And here's the pitch. That one, swing and a miss, strike 1.
Scouting report must say to work the outside half because that's where they're living. Yeah. They went 2 pitches off the outside corner, and that one they got her swinging.
So we'll see where Johnson goes this time. And again on the outside. Low and outside, ball 3-1, 2 runners on, nobody out for the Hawks.
A great pitch to hit if you're Zoe Cloward.
And that one will be a walk as bases are now loaded for the Cowboys.
And they never wavered from their strategy. They continued to bust those off the outside corner, but Cloward did not bite and draws the base on balls.
That brings up number 9, Chloe, by the way, the pitcher. And, you know, for both of these teams, do you feel like it's an advantage or disadvantage where they've already played each other once in the tournament?
You know, that's a great question. I would ultimately say in this situation, I would call that an advantage. You have a chance to get some live reps against each other. You know, I would call that an advantage moving into the championship. Just having live reps against the opponent is probably a plus, a net benefit.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes, though, like what you don't know, sometimes is a little better. Maybe with the scouting report of pitchers, maybe could play to the advantage of the batter, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good argument. It's you can argue both sides for sure. Yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes a little naivety is a good thing.
And that pitch going to get away from Cook, so 1 run will score, and runners will advance to second and third.
So the wild pitch by Johnson allows the second run of the game to plate for the Grantsville Cowboys. And, you know, would be a good time. You know, Johnson removes her mask, catches her breath, and a good time to sort of try to settle down just a little bit if you're the North Sanpete Hawks.
Here's the pitch by Johnson. Swung on by the way, that's a dead ball, strike 1.
So that'll level the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Still nobody out and 2 runners in scoring position. By the way, we'll have an opportunity to help her cause here as the pitcher for the Grantsville Cowboys.
Here's Johnson's pitch. That one does catch the outside. Pretty pitch by Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson paints the fastball across the outside corner. A great response here with 2 runners in scoring position and nobody out. Johnson again pitches ahead.
Here's Johnson's pitch. That one right down the middle and a rip by Chloe, by the way, will score 1. And the runner will hold at third. And now we have a 3-0 lead with the runners on the corners and still nobody out for the Hawks.
Yeah, nobody out, and the Hawks with runners on first and third, the RBI single by the way, and they have a chance to do some damage here in the bottom half of the second.
And that just, you know, proves how costly those, you know, couple errors have been, as those 2 errors have each scored here in the bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, 1 base here and 1 base there here in this high level of competition can make all the difference in the world.
So there will be a courtesy runner speed up for the pitcher. And that will bring up number 21, Briley Castagna, the second baseman for the Cowboys. And Briley squares to bunt, trying to move that runner over to second. And they're going to go, and they risk it to get the 1 out, and then a run. The run will score from third base.
Yeah, that was intentional by North Sanpete. They're saying, hey, it's early. We have confidence. We're going to trade an out for a run there, and they do. It was a great throw from the catcher down to second base for the easy out. Was out by 2-3 feet there, but in doing so, they concede the run.
So there's a hit. Fielded cleanly by the shortstop and a quick throw over for the 6-3 ground out.
Yeah, Bailey got that one out quickly. It was a hard hit ground ball. She one-hopped it, did not field it cleanly, sort of fielded it in the breadbasket there. And Bailey able to get that ball out quickly and threw a strike across the diamond for the second out. So right now the strategy to throw down and get the out at second base seems to have paid off. Yes, they did concede a run, but now they got the rally stopped a little bit with nobody on and 2 outs.
That will be a ball 1. We're back at the top of the batting order with Kenzie Allen, who struck out her first at bat. Here's Johnson's pitch. So that's one's hit to the third baseman. It's going to get in between her legs, and Allen will find herself on first base.
Yeah, and that ball was scorched off the bat. I'd probably still call that an error on the third baseman. It was scorched, but it was right at her. But she just unable to get the glove down and unable to get the glove on the ball. But, you know, give credit to the batter, Allen. She absolutely scorched that ground ball at the third baseman.
She did, and that brings up Sophie Crosby, who hit a single her first at bat. So this is kind of who you want up to bat if you're the Cowboys.
Yeah, Johnson opens up the at-bat with that change up, just trying to keep the Grantsville Cowboys off balance.
That one just a little inside, ball 1-1 the count.
Good discipline there by Crosby, laying off that fastball off the inside corner.
And here's the pitch. That one right down the pipe, and missed opportunity by Crosby. That one is a crankable ball.
Yeah, you can sort of see it in the body language there, but from Crosby, like, oops, I missed that one.
Good pitch by Johnson, trying to get Crosby to chase on it with 2 strikes on it.
Yeah, it's a great 1-2 pitch there by Johnson, trying to get Crosby out on her front foot, and Crosby didn't bite.
So 2-2, 2 out. That one inside, so now the count is full for Sophie Crosby.
Yeah, so Crosby missed that fastball right down the middle, but still showing great discipline and keeping her composure about it.
And there's, right back at the pitcher, and that was a hard hit ball. We'll move the runner to third, and we'll hope Johnson's okay. She took a shot right off her shoulder.
Yeah, that was a hard hit line drive, came right back off of Johnson. Johnson's nodding her head, tough kid, saying that she's okay. Ball bounced off of her and in between first and second base for the infield hit.
So that will move Allen over to third and Crosby on first. That brings up Bollender, who ground out to the shortstop in the first inning.
So North Sanpete still okay here with 2 outs. Just need a fly ball, a ground ball, or a strikeout.
And there's a inside in the dirt, ball 1. Johnson looking to get herself out of this inning. Here's the pitch. That one swung on up the middle again. 1 run will score. And safe at second is Crosby, but a run, Allen will cross home plate.
Yeah, timely hit. 2 out hitting. It's been something that we've mentioned a lot, but there with 2 outs, Bollender delivers a single straight back up the middle. Didn't get all of it, but it had just enough to sneak right over second base in for the RBI single.
That brings up number 13, the catcher, Addie Butler. That one's strike 1.
Butler 0 for 1, now has runners on first and second and 2 outs.
Here's the pitch. Off speed, got her to swing. Here comes the runner. Both runners will advance as the off-speed pitch swung on and missed.
Yeah, Crosby with a great read. She just made a read on the glove spin by the catcher Cook, and as soon as she saw that glove spin, she took third base.
Here's the pitch from Johnson, the 0-2 pitch. And that's going to get her on that outside corner looking, and that will do it as the the Cowboys able to add 4 runs that inning. Will be back with the top of 3.
The Intermountain Power Service Corporation is committed to supporting our local schools, communities, and the economies of central and south central Utah. Each year, IPSC's 2 950-megawatt generating units provide 3 million megawatt hours of energy for communities in Utah and Southern California. The Intermountain Power Project ranks among the best of coal-based power plants in reliability, cost-effectiveness, and environmental responsibility. IPSC, honored to sponsor this sports broadcast.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs. Just complete an application on your phone or computer, or stop by any branch.
Hi, I'm Barrett Hilton with TeamHive.live, where we've created a locally run video streaming platform for Utah schools. Bookmark TeamHive.live, Utah's new home for streaming high school sports and other events. Powered by Centricom Local 10.
Welcome back to 3A State Softball. It is 5-0 favor the Grantsville Cowboys as we head into the third inning. And the Hawks desperately need to get something going this inning.
Yeah, I don't think you can overstate the importance here of the top half of the third inning for North Sanpete, with the momentum rolling for Grantsville here and them being the undefeated team. North Sanpete really needs to get something happening here. I'm not saying they got to get all 5 back this inning, but they've got to get something.
Yep, just a little at a time as, by the way, yet to give up a hit in the game.
Yeah, she's pitching a gem of a game here through 2 complete.
That one swung on high, fly ball. Can the center fielder get it? She does. She makes the sliding catch for out number 1.
And that's signs of a championship effort right there from Straight, the center fielder. You know, that ball looked like it was going to have eyeballs and find some green grass, but Straight, who was deep in center field, came charging in and slid on her backside and just made a sensational catch. And, by the way, pitching a gem, but also getting some help from her defense.
She is, and that's out number 1, and that will bring us to the top of the order with Katie Cook, who struck out her first at bat. There's a swing and a miss for strike number 1.
Yeah, and honestly, Lachelle, when you see your defense make a play like that, it gives you so much confidence as a pitcher to be able to toe that rubber and just fire strikes.
By the way's pitch. Ooh, I thought that maybe, strike, okay. I thought that maybe hit her, but nope, strike 2, 0-2 the count.
May have skipped off the end of the bat or something. The umpire called dead ball, but probably skipped off the end of the bat, but it was ultimately caught as a foul tip.
And here's the pitch, 0-2. That one swung on, fouled back right at us, and that will keep Cook alive at the plate.
Yep, hanging tough with 2 strikes. And by the way, continues to hit her spots. Just showing a ton of poise, but of course, you know, when your center fielder makes a catch like that, you've got a ton of confidence.
You do. The defense has been very solid for the Cowboys. That one's swinging a miss, and that's out number 2 for Chloe, by the way.
Great pitch there by the way. A fastball running up and in on the hands of the right-hander, and just unable to catch up to the high heat.
And 6 strikeouts already in the game for Chloe, by the way. You know, if you're the Grantsville coaching staff, that's the kind of production you want to see out of your pitcher.
Yeah, she's pitching a gem.
And this will be Bree Allred at the plate. That one up and out of the strike zone. Ball 1.
The couple of base runners that North Sanpete's been able to get have just been by straight discipline by their hitters at the plate, not chasing that rise ball out of the zone.
There's a high fly hit ball right at the shortstop as she goes behind second base for the 3rd out. So still no hits for the Hawks. And then we will head into the bottom of the 3rd with Grantsville leading 5-0.
Nephi Federal Credit Union in Nephi offers convenient service and a variety of financial services. They're your hometown credit union that's been serving local residents for over 63 years, longer than any other financial institution in Nephi. The staff invites you to check out their incredible rates on a variety of loans and savings accounts. Nephi Federal Credit Union, 155 North Main in Nephi. Call 623-1895. That's 623-1895. Nephi Federal Credit Union, proud supporter of the Wasps this season.
I'm Dr. Sorensen. I'm a board-certified pediatrician, and I'm the newest addition to the team of doctors here at Central Valley Medical Center. My goal is to work closely with you when making decisions about your child's health. After all, you know them better than anyone else.
I think as a mom, it can be really overwhelming to find a doctor who's a really good fit for your family. I look for someone who I can trust. It's so validating and comforting knowing that I can call and get the answers I need from Dr. Sorensen and his staff.
I look forward to meeting you and your child and bringing you the best care closer to home.
Welcome back to 3A State Championship Softball. We are in the bottom of the third inning when Grantsville still with that 5-0 lead. And we are back up with Avery Lee, the designated player.
And the third inning remains a big inning here for North Sanpete. They're trying to stay in touch here with the Grantsville Cowboys down 5 runs, unable to get anything in the top half of the frame. And they need to show an ability to keep this game close here in the bottom half.
So here's Johnson's pitch. That was a swung on right to the center fielder. That is straight. She made a good play as she kind of ran up and then stepped back and made the catch.
Yeah, Thomas makes a last-second adjustment. Those line drives can be really difficult to read. And, straight. The center fielder made a last-second adjustment with a great catch. And that's also going to give Johnson some confidence here moving into through the bottom half of the third.
That brings up Ellie Thomas, the center fielder for the Cowboys. And, just talking about that last inning for the Hawks, just some errors were just super costly for them.
Yeah, a couple of errors so far for North Sanpete has been one of the difference makers so far.
That one outside, ball 1. So 1 out on that catch by the center fielder. That one high, ball 2.
Johnson coming in with a rise ball of her own, trying to get the Grantsville batter to chase, and they're not going for it so far.
And that is actually, 3-0 the count. And that is an inside, catches that corner, strike 1.
So good pitch. The Grantsville batter Thomas was trying to distract Johnson, but Johnson able to paint the inside corner.
But that one does come up too high, and that will send Thomas down with the walk.
So 1 out. The Grantsville Cowboys have a runner aboard.
And that will bring up number 25, Zoe Cloward.
If you remember Cloward, they just kept on busting fastballs off the outside corner on Cloward. We'll see if they go right back to that.
And there's a hit. That's going to get past the shortstop. And Cloward does her job, moves that runner, and gets herself on base.
And they did. They came with the fastball across the outside corner, but Cloward just went with it and drove it the other way with the 1-out single.
I am almost guessing that in the previous game, Cloward must have had some big hits against North Sanpete.
Yeah, that likely could have been the case because they've pitched, I think they've thrown 5 pitches to her now, all 5 of them off the outside corner, but that time Cloward took it the other way.
And there's the first pitch to By the Way. That one a rise ball, but too high, strike 1.
So By the Way with the single in her first at-bat.
Ball 1.
We'll see if she bunts to move the runners over or if they let her swing away here.
That one gets away from Cook, and the base runners were on the move. Everybody moves as Thomas and Cloward are now both in scoring position.
Yeah, Johnson went with the changeup, and Thomas read the glove spin by the catcher, and very aggressively, she just saw that glove spin, and she took off, and Cloward followed her.
There's a hit by the Way, and, Cloward did a good job approaching the shortstop, but the shortstop very calmly throws that one across, but a run will score for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and I want to give credit for Thomas. Earlier she read the changeup in the dirt and very aggressively took third base, and that base running proficiency right there gave that run to the Grantsville Cowboys. She's able to take third base, and then she's able to score on the infield hit.
And that is strike number 1 to Briley Castagna. That one swung. There's going to be a single, and the run will hold, as now we have runners on the corner with the single from Castagna.
Castagna with the 2-out single and just hammers the line drive over the shortstop. They hold Cloward up at third, but a great 2-out piece of hitting there by Castagna.
That will bring up the top of the order, Kenzie Allen, and she is 0 for 2 on the day.
with 2 outs and a runner on third.
That one inside, ball 1. And we've seen a Cook already throw out a runner. So being a little more conservative is Castagnon first.
Yeah, especially with 2 outs here. They don't want to. The change up in the dirt gives them second base anyway. But yeah, I was agreeing with you. They didn't want to give up the third out of the inning on third or on second base there. But with the ball in the dirt, they take it anyway.
So 2 runners in scoring position for Kenzie Allen. And Allen just rips that one down the left field line. And 2 runs will score as she gets herself a stand-up double.
Yeah, hitting with 2 outs, you just can't emphasize how important it is, especially when you're playing for a title. And give Allen a ton of credit. She got her pitch, and she hammered it down the left field line for a 2 RBI double.
That will bring Sophie Crosby
now batting number 22, Sophia Crosby,
to the line, and that one right down the pipe for strike 1. So here's Johnson's pitch. She gets that off speed for a called strike 2. So 0-2 to Sophie Crosby.
Yeah, and Crosby 2 for 2 so far on the day, has had a very productive day now with a runner in scoring position.
That one inside for Johnson, ball 1. One to the count. That one swung on, and there's a catch by the left fielder, Madison Stedman, as she saved 1 run for the Hawks.
Yeah, that ball was smoked by Crosby, but Stedman there to record the 3rd out of the inning and stop the rally.
And that will do it. That will be the 3rd out, and we will head to the top of 4. We'll be back.
Sanpete Steel in Moroni was founded in 1994 and is one of the major steel construction companies in the Intermountain West, specializing in structural steel fabrication and erection. Sanpete Steel's impressive portfolio includes the Hale Theater in Sandy and structures on the campuses of the University of Utah, BYU, and UVU. Sanpete Steel in Moroni, where their motto is done right and on time, at 685 East Main in Moroni. Call 800-261-1026, 800-261-1026, or sanpetesteel.com. Beaver Valley Hospital continues to offer high-quality health care at the state's lowest price. Beaver Valley Hospital has state-of-the-art laboratory and radiology services, including cutting-edge X-ray and 3D ultrasound. The hospital also provides expanded surgical procedures for orthopedics and laparoscopic hysterectomy. Remodeled patient rooms and long-term care facilities combined with compassionate staff to provide our patients a comfortable and healing environment. Beaver Valley Hospital is a proud community supporter and is pleased to sponsor Beaver High School.
Welcome back to 3A State Championship Softball. You are watching the game between the North Sanpete Hawks and the Grantsville Cowboys. Grantsville with a commanding 8-0 lead as we are in the top of the 4th inning.
Yeah, and they've done it consistently. They scored 1 run in the bottom of the 1st, 4 in the bottom of the 2nd, and 3 in the bottom of the 3rd. 8 runs on 8 hits, and no errors so far for the Grantsville Cowboys. But I saw...
Swing and a miss for Madison Stedman.
I saw Coach Landon Bailey call his club together as they came off the field that half inning and give him a word of encouragement. Hey, come on, let's get something going. And they need to badly. North Sanpete needs to respond. They don't need all 8, but they need something here in the top of the 4th.
And here's the pitch. That one swung on, fouled off by Stedman. Now Stedman down 0-2 to, by the way, yet to give up a hit to the Hawks.
Yeah, and by the way, 42 pitches in is really hitting her spots and just throwing a gem of a game. No hitting them so far through 3 complete innings.
That one high and outside, not a bad pitch as she's just trying to get her to chase. By the way, gets the call from Butler, and here's the pitch to Stedman. That one catches that inside corner, and Stedman's going to go down looking for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, by the way, comes in on the hands and paints the inside corner. She's been working that outer half of the plate, and with that fastball running up and in, just buckled the batter for the backwards K, strikeout looking.
And that is the 7th strikeout for By the Way in the game. Here's Oldroyd as she reached on a walk in the second. That one high, ball 1. Oldroyd's going to step into the plate. By the Way takes the sign from Butler. That one's swing and a miss by Oldroyd.
Good, healthy cut there by Oldroyd. Saw a pitch that she liked, and she went after it. Love the aggressive cut there by Oldroyd.
Here's By the Way on the mound. And the pitch. That one is in there for a called strike 2 right on that outside corner.
And By the Way just continues to consistently hit her spot. She's been lights out so far in this game with hitting her spots.
Here's the pitch. That one popped up to the second baseman. She catches that for out number 2.
Yeah, that was a great 1-2 pitch there by the Way. Is really off the plate outside, and she got Oldroyd to offer, who nubbed it and just popped it out to the second baseman.
That will bring out the shortstop, Dally Bailey. She struck out her last attempt, so looking to get on for the Hawks.
It was Bailey that smashed the grand slam in the bottom of the third against Manti. Let's see if she can deliver again.
And there's a strike 1. And, you know, with the speed that By the Way is pitching, if a hitter can get a hold of the ball, it's going to go. It's just if they can get a hold of the ball.
Yeah, By the Way is throwing with some good velocity, just keeping it out of the reach and hitting her spots of the North Sanpete bats.
And there's strike number 2. Bailey down 0-2 in the count with 2 outs.
By the Way, just been great at hitting her spots and keeping the hitters off balance.
And By the Way is a senior for Cowboys. That one high and inside, ball 1.
Great 0-2 pitch there by the Way, trying to run up and in on Oldroyd.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch. That's a swing and a miss, and that is strikeout number 8. And that will do it for the top of the 4th inning as the Hawks unable to get a hit. And we will be back with the Grantsville Cowboys up to bat.
Hi, I'm Barrett Hilton with TeamHive.live, where we've created a locally run video streaming platform for Utah schools. On our website, you're not going to wade through a bunch of unrelated content. You bring up TeamHive.live and you're just going to find a lot of high school sports and events. We've created tools that make it super easy for you to create events and stream to our site. And if you ever need help with anything, you can give me a call. So I want to invite your school to join the team. If you're a Utah high school, you can stream live on TeamHive. That's TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom.
Vince Lombardi once said, "The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have." The quote rings true whether applied to our country, our schools, our homes, or on the field of play. We applaud our student athletes for their hard work and determination on the field and in the classroom. Brought to you by Sunrise Engineering, promoting excellence in sports and education. Visit us at sunrise-eng.com. That's sunrise-eng.com.
Welcome back to 3A State Softball on TeamHive.live. Powered by Centricom in partnership with KSL Sports. We are in the bottom of the 4th, and it's do or die. Not do or die yet, but the Grantsville Cowboys would love to add a couple more runs as they, 2 more runs and then hold the Hawks, and they're the state champs.
Yeah, it's going to be foot on the gas pedal all the way here for Grantsville, trying to get those 2 runs at least here in the bottom half of the 4th. And they're going right through the heart of their order. They're 2, 3, 4 batters right here, so a great spot for them to get some production.
And here's the pitch from Johnson. That one outside, so 3-0 the count to Madison Bolander.
And I would look forward to have the take in this situation, trying to get a base runner here, needing those 2 runs. I would imagine she has the take on trying to get the leadoff walk.
That one's strike 1 right down the pipe.
Yeah, she obviously had the take on, but she's in a good situation here, up 3-1, looking for a pitch to drive.
That one swung on to the left fielder for out number 1, and that was caught by Madison Stedman.
Yeah, she did get her pitch, and she did drive it, but it was just right at the left fielder Stedman who came over and made a catch.
So 1 out for the Hawks. That brings up Addie Butler, who is 0 for 2 on the day. Here's the pitch. Called strike 1, catches that outside corner. Here's the pitch from Johnson. That one's swing and a miss for strike number 2.
So a great little breaking ball there from Johnson. That was not her changeup, but it had a nice hook, either a curveball or a slider there from Johnson, and goes up 0-2 here with 1 out.
Ooh, close. Just missed, ball 1.
Catcher Cook nodding her head, saying, hey, great pitch, just off the inside corner and low. Good 0-2 pitch.
That one just must have missed outside as well, ball 2.
Yeah, Johnson catching her breath on that one. She wanted that one. Outside, levels the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
There's the changeup, just that one high, so ball 3, so full count to Butler.
Yeah, so Butler drops behind 0-2 and then shows some good discipline, taking 3 straight balls here. A great battle here.
That one swung on, and that will be foul and out of play. So Butler keeps herself in at the plate.
With 1 out, the North Sanpete Hawks trying to stay in contact with Grantsville. This is an important pitch.
That one swung on hard, ripped on the left side, but just foul.
Yeah, that was the changeup, and Butler sat on it as long as she could. Definitely long enough to foul it off, but well foul over the third base dugout.
Here's the pitch from Johnson, and that one's high, so a walk for Butler.
Great at bat by Butler, who went down 0-2 and then showed great discipline, fouled off 1 or 2 pitches, and takes first base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
So we will have a speed up for Butler. Number 4 will come in to run. Not sure who number 4 is, so sorry about that.
We don't have number 4 on the roster, but the speed-up runner in this situation, I would imagine with 1 out, they're going to do everything they can to get over there in scoring position. We'll see if it's a straight steal, or we'll see if they square to bunt, but they're going to try and move her over.
That is Sadie Thornton.
And in this situation, in the bottom of the 4th, up 8 runs, Grantsville can afford to be ultra aggressive. I would not at all be surprised to see him try to steal second base here.
Yeah, I agree. Up 8-0, bottom of the 4th.
And they're trying to close it out here after 5. I wouldn't at all be surprised to see a steal here.
That brings up Avery Lee to the plate. That one low, ball 1. Yeah, any bobble from Cook, and I think that runner is heading down to second base. That one looks good, strike 1.
Yeah, as of right now, they're not showing that they're going to steal the bag, but Wouldn't surprise me if they did at all, with an 8-run lead and trying to close it out in 5.
And there's a big swing by number 12. Oh,
Park.
sorry. Yeah, we're going to have a pinch hitter for Lee. That's Clark. Sorry about that. That one high. 2-2 the count.
So with 1 out, the runner remains at first base, and the Grantsville coach is just going to give their kids an opportunity to swing the bat here.
That one swung on but fouled back. Still 2-2 the count. 1 out with a runner on first.
Great job there by Park, fouling off that inside fastball, and stays alive here with 2 strikes.
So here's Johnson's pitch. That one, they're going to call that one fair. And here they come. Here comes the runner. And runners will hold at second and first. A big hit by Lily Park.
Yeah, Park hammers that ball just fair right down the third baseline for the 1-out double and moves these runners into scoring position. And the Grantsville Cowboys right where they need to be with 1 out, runners on second and third.
So that will bring up Ellie Thomas, who reached on a hit by pitch and then was walked and then scored her both times. Swung on. She's going to find a hole. That's going to score 1, and the runners will move to second and third as the Cowboys add to their lead.
So Thomas smashes a 1-out single and then able to advance to second on the throw to third. I don't know if you noticed, but that was fantastic base running there by the Grantsville Cowboys. The base runner on second froze, made a read, and then took third base. And on the throw to third, the base runner advances all the way to second.
That brings up Zoe Cloward, and that one just outside, ball 1.
And they stay consistent. Cloward seeing nothing but fastballs off the outside corner. You remember last inning, she went with it and hammered a single between shortstop and third base.
So Cloward steps in. She's got 2 runners in scoring position. That one low, ball 2.
So runners on second and third with 1 out. Cloward in a position to get the 10th and 11th runs here on a single.
That one outside, so 3-0 the count for Cloward. And Cook did a good job behind the plate keeping that ball in front of her. You're going to get a strike, so 3-1 the count.
So Cloward squared to bunt, but had no intentions of bunting. She was just trying to distract the pitcher, and Johnson did a good job of painting the outside corner.
Here's Johnson's pitch. That's a swung on by Cloward. They're going to go over for first for the out, and then a run will score, so an RBI for Zoe Cloward.
So Cloward does her job with runner on third base, a hard-hit ground ball to the right side of the infield, and that allows the runner to score from third, and that's that all-important 10th run of the ball game, and that's a 10-run lead. Now the Grantsville Cowboys looking to add to that tally.
And here's the pitch to, by the way, that's a strike.
By the way, 1 for 2 on the day. Helped her cause in the last inning with an RBI single.
That's swung on by the way, the shortstop goes over to make the catch, and that will do it for the 4th inning. But Grantsville up by 10, so it's do or die for the Hawks, and we will be back with the top of 5.
Vince Lombardi once said, "The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have." The quote rings true whether applied to our country, our schools, our homes, or on the field of play. We applaud our student athletes for their hard work and determination on the field and in the classroom. Brought to you by Sunrise Engineering, promoting excellence in sports and education. Visit us at sunrise-eng.com. That's sunrise-eng.com.
Since 1947, Barney Trucking has built a reputation of unparalleled customer service and satisfaction in the trucking industry. Barney Trucking is now hiring drivers statewide, including Beaver, Millard, Sevier, Sanpete, Juab, Carbon, Emmerich, Utah, and Salt Lake counties, as well as many other locations. The job includes a home daily schedule, excellent pay, benefits, training, retirement, a positive work environment, and requires a Class A CDL license with doubles endorsement. To apply, go to barneyjobs.com. That's barneyjobs.com.
Welcome back to 3A State Championship Softball. We are in the top of the 5th inning, and it is do or die for the Hawks as Grantsville is 3 outs away from earning themselves a state championship.
So to this point in the game, Grantsville really putting on a clinic. Pitching has been sensational. Hard to imagine anything better. No hitting them through 4 complete innings. And the defense is spot-free with no errors. And, Lachelle, you and I were just talking, the base running really for the Grantsville Cowboys has been sensational and just doing everything that they need to do. And here in the top of the 5th inning, an opportunity with a 10-run lead to close out this game and get the championship.
And that will bring up number 7, Tyler Joe, for the Hawks.
So 6, 7, and 8 in the order for the North Sanpete Hawks. We're going to need to get base runners here in the top of the 5th.
That ball in for strike 1, catches that inside. Here's By the Way's pitch. That one high and outside, ball 1. And, you know, looking Grantsville, they've won 5 state championships in their history, 4 in a row from 2017 to 2021. So pretty dominant program in 3A for the Cowboys.
Yeah, and this club looks like they're following suit here. This club looks, so far here today, this club looks really, really solid. And with the 10-run lead here in the top of the 5th, an opportunity to put North Sanpete, put them away.
That one right down the pipe. Missed opportunity. That will be strike 2. So 2-2 the count to Tyler Joe. By the Way's pitch. Swing on fouled off. Good job by Tyler to stay alive at the plate and give herself another chance.
Yeah, fighting off the rise ball there to stay alive, and the message to North Sanpete is, hey, we're not going to score 10 runs all at once, but we can do that if we get one base runner at a time.
And here's the pitch from By the Way. That one's high. So that's just 3 balls, so full count to Tyler Joe. She was ready to go to first.
Yeah, and I give her a ton of credit. The message from North Sanpete is they may actually be taking a strike at each at-bat at this. They're just going to try to have to find a way to get a base from By the Way.
There's the pop-up. Third baseman can't make the play, so on an error, Tyler Joe, she'll make it down to first.
Yeah, and Tyler Joe figured it out. She did her job. She gets here in the top of the 5th. She gets a lead-off base. That was the E5, patting her shoulder. Hey, yep, that one's on me, and she just took her eye off of it. Did Bolander at second base or at third base, just took her eye off it at the end. But nevertheless, Tyler Joe aboard.
Maybe get some life back into the Hawks, and this is Indigo North. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
And By the Way comes right back with the first pitch strike and going to look to try to shut anything down. North Sanpete needs to continue to show discipline at the plate, try to somehow force By the Way deeper into some counts.
Here's By the Way with the pitch. That one in the dirt, ball 1.
For North Sanpete, should be ultra-conservative at the plate, ultra-conservative at the base paths. You don't need 1 run here. You need 10.
Yep.
And so, you know, you're going to see them be ultra-conservative and not do anything to take them out of the inning.
Here's the pitch. Yep, catches that inside. So strike 2, 1-2 the count for North.
Yeah, nearly right there, painting the inside corner up and in. Nearly an unhittable pitch there by the way. Very good pitch.
Here's By the Way's pitch to North. High and outside, trying to get her to chase that rise ball again, but good job by North on holding off.
Yeah, great discipline holding off the rise ball to level the count at 2-2.
And here's By the Way's pitch. Swing on and fouled off. So life still alive for North.
Yeah, North hanging tough here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and just fouling some pitches off and showing some discipline here. Not going to go down easy.
Here's By the Way with the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is out number 1. And that is a strikeout for Chloe By the Way.
Yeah, and By the Way, just showing a ton of poise. Gets the first out of the inning with the swinging strike. Is that number 8?
Number 9.
Number 9 on the game for By the Way. And records the first out here in the top of the 5th.
So Peyton Johnson will come up to the plate, batting on that left side. She's a designated player for the Hawks. 0 for 1 on the day. That one fouled off. Strike 1. Johnson being aggressive at the plate as she knows she's got to make something happen for the Hawks or it'll all be over.
Yeah, I may have expected Johnson to take that pitch. That pitch may have been high and away. And, you know, just trying to find any way they can to get a bag here.
Little high, ball 1.
It was virtually the same pitch there as the first pitch in the at-bat. And the first one, Johnson went after. That one she held off.
So Butler takes the sign from the dugout, gives it to By the Way, and here's the pitch. That one high and outside, ball 2.
Yeah, and there's that discipline right there in those last 2 pitches that we might expect. Johnson's actually shown great discipline so far today at the plate, but, you know, they're going to want to show some discipline and not chase out of the zone here for sure.
Here's By the Way's pitch. That one high and inside, so 3-1 the count. Johnson ahead.
So only 2 base on balls so far in the game for By the Way, and Johnson trying to get the third here.
And there's the strike. Now full count to Peyton Johnson.
So battle here, 3 balls and 2 strikes and 1 out with the runner on first. Look for By the Way to come right after her.
And just missed, so that will be a walk. So now the Hawks have a runner in scoring position with just 1 out.
And I'm going to give a ton of credit to Johnson here in that situation. Down 10 runs here in the top of the 5th inning. She could have easily offered at several of those pitches, but showed great discipline. And Lachelle, that pattern right there, as unpopular as it is, and I know it's not real exciting, but that pattern of an at-bat by Johnson is the pattern that they're going to have to, North Sanpete's going to have to follow to get back in this game. They're just going to have to not chase out of the zone.
Yeah, you're right. With a pitcher like, By the Way, she's, you know, they're having a hard time hitting her, so they just can't chase the junk or they'll really be in trouble.
Yeah, and By the Way, been incredibly successful. Does have an out here, but now with runners on first and second and only 1 out, we'll see how the Grantsville Cowboys respond. Still playing with a 10-run lead, but trying to close the North Sanpete Hawks here out in the top of the 5th.
That brings up Emily Strait, the center fielder. She is 0 for 1. And she's going to bunt That one's popped back for strike one.
Yeah, and trying to catch him off guard was straight, trying to quickly sneak a bunt in there. It's an interesting strategy, down by 10, and in fact, the indication from North Sanpete is they may just be trying to extend this game here.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Moving the runners and trying to get that, trying to bridge that 10-run gap.
And here's the bunt. She squares again. That one's fouled off. And that will be strike number 2 to straight.
Couple of opportunities to lay down a bunt and move the runners over there. Couple of opportunities missed, and now with 2 strikes, straight's going to have to come through to get those runners moved to second and third.
So 0-2 the count, 1 out, runners on first and second. Here's the pitch by the way. And that one's that rise ball, and she got her to go. So Grantsville 1 out away from a state championship.
Yeah, so by the way comes in with the rise ball up 0-2 and got straight to chase up and out of the zone. And after 2 opportunities to lay down a bunt and move the runners over, by the way, gets her with the high heat.
So that will bring up Katie Cook. The catcher, she's 0 for 2 on the day. Looking to extend this game and give her team another chance.
Now with 2 outs, a huge at bat.
Strike 1 to Cook. So some excitement over on the 2A field. A little more exciting. I mean, this game has still been exciting as both teams playing well, but not a lot of hits. That's a swung on, fouled off by Cook.
Yeah, and all phases of the game, Grantsville kind of putting on a clinic over here. Great pitching, great defense, playing air free. In the field are the Grantsville Cowboys, and they've really made some great base running here. And now they're 1 strike away from a title.
Here's by the way's pitch. Swing and a miss, and that will do it. The Grantsville Cowboys are your 2023 3A state champions. And if I had to give an MVP award, it would be to Chloe, by the way, with 10. Let's see, I think that's her 11th strikeout of the day.
11 strikeouts. She threw the no-no, Lachelle, in the state championship
That's pretty
game.
amazing.
She comes through with a no-hitter and 11 Ks. And it's not like the North Sanpete squad or a bunch of, they can hit the ball.
Yeah,
they showed that
totally
earlier in the day. And for, by the way, to do that to the North Sanpete Hawks, absolutely. What a ball game for Grantsville and their pitcher, by the way, who throws the no-no here in the state championship game.
Yeah, if you wanted your season to go out, I don't think you couldn't ask for anything better for Chloe, by the way.
Yeah, 11 Ks, no hits, 3 walks. Grantsville scores 1 run in the bottom of the first, 4 runs in the second, 3 runs in the third, and 2 runs in the fourth. 10 runs on 10 hits. They did end up having an error in the field there late in the ball game. But, yeah, the game ball in my mind goes to, by the way, the senior pitcher who just put up a sensational performance here in a championship effort.
Yeah, and, kudos to North Sanpete. They made it. Not many teams can even say you've made it to a state championship game. So nothing to hold your head down on a second place finish.
Yeah, North Sanpete beats their rival Manti this morning, 10 runs them to get back to the championship game. And, yeah, I mean, there's no shame in having an opportunity to play for a title. People really take that for granted. It just is not an easy thing to do to make it all the way to the championship game. So a ton of credit and congratulations to the 3A second place finishers, North Sanpete Hawks, and to your championship team, the Grantsville Cowboys, your 2023 3A state champions.
And we will stay here for the trophy presentation as the second place trophy is presented to the North Sanpete Hawks. And their seniors will come out to accept that trophy. So congratulations to them.
Congratulations to the North Sanpete Hawks for an outstanding season.
And your 3A state champions are the Grantsville Cowboys as they take a 10-0 win over the North Sanpete Hawks.
Yeah, and you know, one of the trademarks of a true championship team is you play your best softball when it matters the most. And here in the championship game, they get 10 runs on 10 hits, only 1 fielding error, and the senior pitcher, Chloe, by the way, throws an absolute gem of a game, throws the no-no against North Sanpete, and including the no-hitter, has 11 strikeouts. And just a sensational performance by the way, and the entire Grantsville Cowboys softball team.
No, you're good. And you're like, and, you know, we talked about this earlier as a pitcher, what great confidence it gives you when, you know, maybe the team does start hitting, but they catch the ball in the outfield, they field the ball cleanly on the infield. It takes a lot of pressure off you as a pitcher.
Yeah, as an example, I'm thinking of that one sensational catch made by Thomas in center field for Grantsville, who was playing deep in center field, came charging all the way in, almost to the edge of the dirt, slid on her backside and made the catch. And, you know, if you're Chloe, by the way, you see a play like that by your defense, it just gives you a ton of confidence and just an all-around performance. You know, I've used the term a time or two, but really today here in the championship game, the Grantsville Cowboys put on a clinic in all phases of the game. Pitching was sensational. Their offensive execution was outstanding. The base running was superb, and you know, the defense was also not error-free. They did end up committing an error there late in the game, but close to error-free, and just a comprehensive all-around great performance. And again, your championship teams perform at a championship level when it matters the most, and that's what Grantsville did here today.
It is, and, you know, once again, congratulations to the Grantsville Cowboys. It's been a great weekend of softball. You can still catch the 2A game. Just flip on over and watch the Enterprise Wolves and the Duchesne Eagles, but that will do it for us as we close out another softball season. I'm Lachelle Moss, and alongside Matt Robinson, have a good night.